Alright guys, I have tried to make this video 4 or 5 times already, so I hope it goes through this time. But I wanted to talk a little bit about Chris Watts and what I've recently heard, his, we'll call it third confession, again, third confession, and just some recent information, some other stuff that's came out, case related. And again, you know, it's what's being reported. Supposedly Chris said this, and this has been said about Chris, yada, yada, yada. But I'm going to go ahead and get into it. You guys may be aware, new channel on YouTube, What's Revelation, I think is the name of the channel. But it's being reported that Kim from that channel, she's the one that visits Chris in prison. They're saying that this lady is absolutely just in love with Chris and that she's selling all of her Christopher Watts information to the media, to the Sun, etc. And Kim thinks someone, reportedly, allegedly, Kim thinks someone snuck into the basement and killed everyone, that Chris absolutely had nothing to do with killing anyone, the girls, nor Shanann, is what I'm gathering from what's being said. But definitely not responsible for killing the girls is what she, from what I've heard, definitely she does not think Chris killed the girls. Shanann, it's being now reported that she doesn't think he killed her. But again, I don't know. I've heard both ways. Next thing, Jamie, that's Chris's sister. Jamie's husband hates Chris. He always has. He 100% is on board and thinks Chris killed everyone. No ifs, ands, or buts. He thinks Chris killed everyone. It's being said that Chris does not like his mom. He does not speak to her. I'm sorry, he rarely speaks to her. He primarily speaks to his dad, Ronnie, to his sister, Jamie, and to Kim, the lady that I mentioned just a minute ago. CW, Chris, calls Nikki, quote, Jezebel. He hates her now, is what's being reported. Quote, this is what he said, quote, bitch that betrayed, quote, bitch that betrayed me, unquote, is what Chris is reportedly saying. And he's also told someone that Nikki was at his sentencing. And if you guys may recall, I spoke of that in a video yesterday. But that he's saying, reportedly saying that Nikki was at his sentencing and that she smirked the entire time. Chris is also, it's now being said that Chris admits that he gave Shanann the oxy the first night he was in North Carolina when he met Shanann and the girls in North Carolina. And he supposedly told not only Sherilyn Cadle, the author of the plagiarized book, Letters from Christopher, but also Kim, the one that visits him now. So it's alleged that he told both of them that he gave Shanann the oxy the first night he was in North Carolina to try to get rid of the baby because Nikki said she wanted to give him a little boy. And it's also being said that Chris absolutely loves the Ruseks, that he always has, and he got really excited when he was told that they said that they loved him too, that he just got really excited about this because he's always loved them. Pretty much, I guess, more so than his own family is what, you know, it sounds like. But again, you know, it's just saying that he's always loved them. He's always thought highly of them. Also, it's being said Cece was killed before he left the house. Remember, he said both girls were alive. He killed both girls at the oil tanks. Allegedly, he's now saying that he tried to kill both of the girls at home. He only succeeded in killing Cece. and I don't know, I hope I said Cece a while ago, I'm not sure, but Cece was the one that was killed at home, and Bella was the shadow, that there was only one shadow, and that was Bella, not Cece, because he did smother Cece at home, and it's also been said that he gave Cece oxy, but I know that is not in the discovery. So actually, I think her toxicology report shows clean, from what I've seen in the discovery. So, I don't know how true that is, but nonetheless, just what's being said. But saying Bella was the only one killed at the oil field, and it's possible, and God, I don't even want to say this, but it's being said it's possible that she was alive when he put her in the oil tank, because as we all know, Chris said he thought he had killed him before he even left the house, and they woke back up, is what Chris said. But again, referencing the discovery, we know oil was in Bella's stomach, but there was no oil in her lungs. So, I don't know how true that is, that she were alive. I mean, I guess Chris really doesn't know, so it's possible. He said there's a possibility, but I pray to God that the baby wasn't. Next thing, Chris and Dylan, Dylan, the recent article we saw in, I think it was OK Magazine maybe, about Dylan, his prison buddy, and Chris gave Dylan his boxers and lube, and it was found in Dylan's cell, and it's being said that they are an item, that Chris is into things like that. But I will also say that Dylan's fiance went on one of the YouTube channels, and she said, absolutely not. They're having a hard time not being able to see one another since they got in trouble for this. They only see each other in church now when they go to prison church, and if they're passing each other in the hall, but there's absolutely nothing more to it than a friendship. Excuse me, my throat's getting dry. It's being said Cindy has gone back and forth, and many of you know this already. She's gone back and forth on who she thinks killed the children, and as we know from the new YouTube channel, that right now I think she's on board that Shanann killed the girls and not Chris, but she does flip-flop a lot. It's also said that Jamie has said from the get-go she 100% believes her brother Chris killed the kids. 100%. It's being said Jamie has always believed her brother Chris killed the kids. Let's talk a minute, very briefly, about Nutgate. You guys that know, there was a huge fight about the nuts and the ice cream, etc. And from what's being said, Chris told his mom off and accused her of trying to kill his children at that time. At that point, and this is when they were in North Carolina, him and Shanann, when he flew down after Shanann and the girls were already in North Carolina. He flew down to North Carolina, and Sandy cut Chris and Shanann off after Chris told her off and accused her of trying to kill his children. So she told him, I don't want anything else to do with you or Shanann, allegedly. And then, that's that until, again, Chris shows up to North Carolina this time around. And apparently, he then tells his mom what a horrible person Shanann is, yada, 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 you were right. And so, they reconcile the relationship. But apparently this letter that I have on the screen is what was written. I guess his parents had kind of told him, look, you need to write this letter just in case something happens, because Chris was feeding them with all of this information about Shanann that apparently was not true. And, they just pushed him to write this letter, is what's being said. So we wrote this letter, this infamous letter that that came out that was never really used, or I don't think it's even in Discovery. But, you know, again, it's out there, and we'll get back to it in a minute. But apparently Ronnie, Christopher's dad, has always believed wholeheartedly Chris's first confession that Shanann killed the girls. He's always believed that is what's being said. And also another thing that's being said, we all know as of recent, that, or not really recent, because in a previous video I done about the 35C, this was being spoke about, I think back in April of this year. I think it was this year, gosh, maybe last year, I don't know, I've got a video up on it somewhere, but it came back to resurface again. But it's being said that although that 35C is coming back into play, Chris does not have an attorney. And let's speak about that insurance policy that we've seen a little bit on in the news, that it was, I think, $450,000 insurance policy, and $300,000 was on Shanann. It was a policy through Chris's work, Anadarko. $300,000 on Shanann, $75,000 on each of the girls. And it's being said that it needed to be signed off on by the Watts, and they refused to do so. And so Shanann's parents were advised by their legal team to give the Watts a cut of that money so that they would sign off, and that cut was $50,000. Again, this is what's being reported. I do not know what the amount was. I do know that there is an insurance policy. We've seen that, many of us have, but, you know, the amount given to the Watts, not certain. And what just got done playing, and this is the last thing I want to go over, what just finished up playing on the screen, and I'll play it again. I had a few people ask on several different occasions if the house was still for sale, if somebody bought it, because we've seen for, I guess, the past couple of weeks, there's been no trespassing signs up, and we do know people have been going there to take photos. So I went to Weld County, and it looks like Chris and Shanann, or Chris now, he's still listed on the deed. So, you know, right now, this, as of November 20th, Chris and Shanann's name, both of their names are still on the county's website, as I'm showing you right here. But let me know what you guys think, you know, just about this information that's coming to light. Some of it new, some of it, you know, maybe we've thought before, just wasn't certain on. But let me know your thoughts also. Do you think this was premeditated, or do you think Chris snapped? Me personally, I sway more to the side of premeditated, and the reason for that is due not only that letter that was written in advance while they were in North Carolina, the one that I just showed you, but also the doll photo. There's actually a few things that just make me think about premeditation. I feel like Chris completely planned this, and it was premeditated. But let me know what you guys think.